Crystal Wade here with Let's Wade In. So glad you could join us today. We're talking about what changes our lives and going with God, going for the gold in the race of your own life. The Olympic Games were well known in the days of the Apostle Paul, which is about 2,000 years ago, as they are well known in our days today. And so the believers at the church in the city of Corinth understood what Paul meant when he said that those who go for the games, they go into strict training, and they do it to get a crown that will fade and a reward that will not last. But not you. You run in such a way as to get the prize. Run in such a way as to get the crown that will last forever. And so what the Olympians in Paul's day did, it was boys and men. Those were the only ones, and they had to be Greek citizens. So those certain amount of people could compete in the games. And what they would do is, if they won, they would have fame. They would be well known, at least for that season, until the next season came when somebody else was well known. So they would get fame for a little while, and that they would get a crown of laurel leaves. And these, what do leaves do after a while? Have you ever done a leaf collection and then gone back in your room and worked so hard on that leaf collection and gone back in your room a week or two later? Have you noticed what happened to those leaves? They rotted. All that work gone, and little pieces of brown stuff all over your binder and your floor you have to clean up. So, well, that didn't last too long. And then what about the fame? Fame is such a blink. You've got viral videos, and everybody's talking about, oh, wow, this amazing viral video, or this new superstar or singer or whoever. Yes, until the next one comes, and then the first one is history. Nobody's talking about them anymore. So fame doesn't last too long, whether you're in the Olympics or you're anywhere else in life, and neither do laurel leaf crowns, okay? So Paul is saying, you, okay? You're in a race. And as a believer, it's time to go into strict training, okay? And what you're doing is you are in a race, and it's your own life. And what the Father has for you is He has rewards for you in heaven. He's got a crown for you in heaven if you finish well the race of your own life. But I want to tell you something that's really cool. He has rewards for you on this earth too. When you finish a season of life, okay, and you run it well for Him, with Him, then He has a reward for you as you finish up that time. And it's on this earth. So He not only has rewards for you in heaven and a crown that will last forever, He has rewards for you on the earth. I want to tell you just a little bit more about that in a minute. But what I want to tell you before we get there is this good news, okay? So if you're in athletics, if you've done anything with sports, you know that you have to be the best. You have to train, you have to be the best, you have to keep going. Basketball, track, whatever that you're in or that you've seen on TV, whatever it is. If you don't constantly get better, then somebody else is going to get better than you, and they're going to beat you, okay? So you may be the champion, the gold medalist this year, but you may not be next year. You may not even be next week, okay? There is a lot of work that has to be constantly to be done, and some people are just going to naturally have greater endurance or a faster time than you do. That's just going to happen because that's what happens on the earth. So anyways, on the earth, there's a lot of competition involved in winning. There's always somebody smarter. Somebody has more money. Somebody has more popularity. Somebody has more this, that, or the other. Whatever they have, that's more than what I have or you have, okay? That's what happens on earth. It's a competition to win. But this is what's so good about the Heavenly Father, okay? He marked out a race with your name on it. Okay? It's your life. It's your name. There's only one of you, and there's only one prize, and it goes for you. You're the only one that can win this race. You're not competing against anybody else. Praise God. You know what that means? That means that your chances of winning are 100%. Okay? The only way you can lose this race is if you don't run it. He wants you to win. He's got rewards for you. He's got a crown for you. Because you know why? He appreciates it. And we'll talk about this another time. But he appreciates, just real briefly, you living your life with him and for him on this earth. So he's going to reward you for running your race. So it's worth it to go into strict training. It's worth it to give it your all. And there are times we need to step aside and we need to take care of our bodies. We need to rest. We need to eat properly. We need to do those things. I mean, you can't be on 24/7. But what I mean is not just give your best to school or to social media or even to getting into the best college or even to make the best grades. No, not just give your best to that. Give your best to God, the Father, okay? And he will reward you. So nobody's going to take your place. You're not competing against them. Nobody's going to get your reward. It's all for you, okay? So you can't fail. You can't fail, and it's worth it to give it your best to the Father. And it's your race, and there is room on this track for you. It's your race that he marked out, okay? Well, let me tell you a true story about rewards, okay? So there was this teenager, and during the course of his high school, he was very faithful and very diligent, and he gave a lot of love to the Father, to his family, and to others. And by what I mean by love is that he was always pulling back on what he wanted and waiting to give his best for others. And that's what love is. Love holds back on what we want to give the best to somebody else. And so he did that during high school. And he worked and he was helping his family in every way that he could. And what happened was he was not able to get his driver's license, okay, because of some things that were going on that had nothing to do with him. And he had to, he decided to be patient. He never griped or complained, and he was patient and faithful. And so he ended up having to wait 2 years to get his driver's license, which is a really hard wait when people all around you are getting theirs. It's really hard to wait for something you want when everybody around you is getting what you want. But he did. He did. And he finished his high school season of life very faithfully to the Father and his family and with love and patience. And at the end of his high school, do you know what happened? The Father gave him his reward. And do you know what it was? He not only got his driver's license, but he was given a fully functional, nice vehicle. Okay? Now, it wasn't a Range Rover or whatever that's hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it was his own nice vehicle that runs. The Father rewarded him. The Father rewarded him for that season. The Father will reward you for your seasons that you run, not just in heaven, but also on the earth. There's no competition against you. You can't lose, okay? What you do have to do is get focused. Get focused. This life, what's going on right now, the troubles and the joys and the ups and the downs of this life, with social media and the pressures and the fears, all of that, and climb this ladder and do this and be the best. That's not what it's about. It's about being faithful and having love, which means to do the best for others, which means you don't put yourself first. You many times have to hold back and let do what is best for others, even if it's not what is best for you right then. Like my friend that just finished his high school career. Okay? So, the Father has rewards for you on earth and in heaven. He's got a crown for you. He's got a race for you that only you can do and nobody's competing with you. Okay? And you give it your best. Your widow's mite, like Angelo. You will be a king with the Lord in heaven no matter what you don't have on this earth. You're a champion. You're a gold medalist, okay? And that's why we have Let's Wade In, okay? We are going into training. You and I, we're going into training, okay? To run this race of your life, of my life, to go with God and go for the gold. See you next time.